Ministers from China and African nations are gathering in Senegal for the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Chinese President Xi Jinping is scheduled to address the meeting via video link. Trade, infrastructure and the ongoing pandemic top the forum's agenda. Nick Mundimba has more.
So much in store here in Dakar because, of course, you know very well there will be a very large delegation of African leaders and representatives will be coming on board. Some will be taking part via video link, and of course some will actually be here physically. So agenda on the main is actually very long, and you know very well the COVID-19 pandemic had slowed things down. But this time around, when anyone in Africa hears about FOCAC, it's all about the good for Africa. Now, when you talk about infrastructure, when you talk about just how Africa has been able to develop through the Chinese aid or the Chinese help, this has actually helped so many families, so many people come out of poverty. But again, just apart from infrastructure, there's so much in store to be actually discussed here in Dakar, Senegal. There'll be trade ties, as you know very well. The trade between China and Africa has actually increased immensely. But again, looking at a person-to-person relationship will actually be part of the agenda. And of course, when you look at healthcare, will actually be part of the agenda. And what has Africa learned as a continent from the COVID-19 pandemic? So this is just among the few things that leaders from Africa and of course the China delegation will be discussing here in Senegal.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang has met Senegal's President Macky Sall in Dakar ahead of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. President Sall told Wang on Sunday that the construction of joint projects under the Belt and Road Initiative has promoted the development of Senegal's inland areas. Wang also commended Senegal over its effective handling of the pandemic. He said China will push forward bilateral cooperation in multiple areas. The Chinese Foreign Minister also spoke with his Senegalese counterparts Sall. He said China will continue to provide and help Senegal's production of COVID vaccines. Wang said a 20-year-old Forum on China-Africa Cooperation has set an example for dialogue on promoting international development. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang has also met his counterparts from Sierra Leone, Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Their talks came ahead of the ministerial conference of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation on Monday. Wang says China is willing to deepen cooperation with Sierra Leone and continue to support the country in pandemic control and economic rebound. Foreign Minister David Francis says Sierra Leone welcomes the investment from China and that it's open to cooperation in areas such as infrastructure and agriculture. Wang told his Zimbabwean counterpart, Frederick Chavar, that China unswervingly supports the country in exploring its own development path. Foreign Minister Chavar thanked China for its support in helping with the country's economic transition. Wang and Mozambique Foreign Minister have agreed that both sides will continue to push forward the development of bilateral ties. So, it's been 20 years since the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation has been put into practice, and a ministerial meeting, the 8th of its time actually, opens on Monday in Dakar, capital of Senegal. For more on that, we're joined in the studio by my colleague Li Jianhua. Jianhua, you've been following this very closely. Tell us more about what the Forum has achieved in the past 2 decades.
Yes, Pandong, the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, or FOCAC, has strengthened collaboration between the two sides on an equal footing. It was conceived in 2000. The forum received momentum in 2015 during President Xi Jinping's state visit to Africa for the second time as China's leader. At a summit in Johannesburg, President Xi proposed a partnership based on 5 major pillars. These are political inequality, win-win economic cooperation, cultural exchanges, security and solidarity, and coordination in international affairs. He also proposed 10 cooperation plans with Africa to accelerate the continent's industrialization and agricultural modernization and help Africa achieve sustainable development. China initially provided a total of $60 billion in funding to push these cooperation plans forward. 3 years later, in the Beijing summit of 2018, President Xi proposed the launch of 8 major initiatives. These included industrial promotion, infrastructure connectivity, trade facilitation and grain development. China extended another $60 billion of financing to Africa for these initiatives. It is also worth mentioning that the debts incurred by some of the least developed African countries in the form of interest-free Chinese government loans were waived by China. So we'll see what comes out of this summit today.
Right, so break down some numbers on the specific area of cooperation between the two sides.
Yeah, the trade volume between China and Africa has increased 20 times over the past 2 decades. China has been Africa's largest trading partner for 12 consecutive years. From January to July this year, the two sides' trade volume hit nearly $140 billion. That's a record 40% increase from same periods last year. At a milestone in the trade history, Africa's exports to China also rose to close to $60 billion. So by the end of 2020, Chinese companies' direct investment in Africa surpassed $43 billion. In terms of infrastructure, Chinese enterprises have built and upgraded 13,000 kilometers of railway and motorways, 20 ports and over 80 large power generating facilities to alleviate power shortages in less developed countries in Africa. All these have created over 4.5 million job opportunities on the continent over the past 20 years. Since the coronavirus pandemic, China has extended assistance to over 50 African countries with 120 batches of medical supplies, including COVID-19 test kits, masks and ventilators. China has also provided about 200 million doses of vaccines. Back to you, Pandong.